Hello there. I'm going to look at my list of questions and look at the second question I've got on here. I think I've got about 30 something questions, so I don't know if I'll get through all of them, but I will try my best. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I can go through 4 questions here as they're all related and all from the same person. Thank you. Are the extraterrestrials embodiments of our particular frequencies or octaves of our higher selves or expanded selves? Yes. Are motherships synonymous with oversouls? Yes. Are planets and stars synonymous with ships, just manifesting in the fullness as different aspects of the same symphony? Yes. Are we also ships of sorts? Yes. Okay, so I'll go through these. Are the extraterrestrials embodiments of our particular frequencies? They are indeed. One perspective of this would be that everything we communicate with within the higher dimensions will be a reflection of us and who we are, what we are, our makeup. So it will be to do with our thoughts, the way we act, the foods we eat, the people we associate with, the books we read, the way we speak, and the emotions we hold. This will attract the matching frequency with which to communicate, whether we perceive this as a higher self, an angelic being, a group soul, a collective soul, extraterrestrials. So they are embodiments of our particular frequencies, which is different from an attracted match to our frequencies. So embodiments of our frequencies, are they embodiments of what we put out of our energy system? Well, they are. And they are actually our energy system as well. Our energy system is a living consciousness that is non-terrestrial. Therefore, it will be extraterrestrial. So there are a whole spectrum of what extraterrestrial means. So to really go deeply into that question, we would be looking at what does extraterrestrial mean, which is a whole other question. Your question was, are those extraterrestrials embodiments of our particular frequencies or octaves of our higher selves? Well, absolutely, they are our higher selves. That in itself is extraterrestrial. But if you're looking at extraterrestrial consciousness structures that are individuals that have gone through a different evolutionary path and have lived lives within other planetary systems, they are embodiments of our particular frequencies if they are higher dimensional and they are linked to our own lineage, if you like. So you may well find some extraterrestrials that are not embodiments of our frequencies. So from that perspective, the answer would be no. So it really depends on what extraterrestrials you're actually looking at. That's a huge, huge field, extraterrestrials themselves. So octaves of our higher selves. So higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings will absolutely be that. They will be octaves of our higher selves. They will be future versions of us, if you like. And they are extraterrestrial because they're not terrestrial within this time period. And in the future, the planetary system we live upon is different. So they're extraterrestrial because they're on another planet. Or octaves of our higher selves or expanded selves. Yes, our expanded selves are extraterrestrial. So it would depend on what extraterrestrial you are specifically talking about. If you are looking at service to self, extraterrestrial beings, many know these as reptilians, if you like. They're not all service to self, but a lot of them are. They wouldn't be embodiments of our particular frequencies, no. But they might be embodiments of our frequencies if we're angry, fearful, and have service to self energies that we're putting out. We would create the energetic match within the antimatter realm, within the non-physical realm. So huge question, but predominantly the answer is yes to your question. Are motherships synonymous with oversouls? Yes, in the sense that the metaphor for an oversoul would be a mothership, the perspective of mothership within the third dimension would be a large transportation device that is bringing extraterrestrial beings from one time period or one planetary system into our system. On a third dimensional level, they would be motherships. When you're looking with the higher dimensional viewpoint, so when you're looking from a fifth or a sixth dimensional perspective, then they are the same thing. The Oversoul is a transportation device bringing extraterrestrials to us, but that's metaphor. But the answer to your question is yes. I'm trying to see if is there a perspective where that would be no. The only perspective that would be no is where the mothership is synonymous with a service to self oversoul. So we're looking oversouls. We're looking at planetary creators, known to many as a logos or a sub-logos or a love structure that is a complete holographic replica of source. So they manifest in different polarities. So you've got the service to self ones and the service to others ones. So a service to self oversoul would not be synonymous with a mothership that we would connect to when we're looking at our own embodiments and octaves and higher selves, relating that to the first question. But they would be synonymous with a service to self oversoul. So a mothership and an oversoul is the same thing when you perceive from the higher dimensions. If you are looking purely from a third dimensional viewpoint, then you would see a mothership and an oversoul as two separate things. That's the perspective of the third dimension. The third dimension sees everything in a linear sense, and therefore that will be a linear sense within time and space. Therefore, they will see objects and items as separate. It is true for the third dimensional perspective. It is not false, but I presume your question was based on the view and the perspective of the higher dimensions. So the answer is yes to that question, based on what I believe you meant when you asked it. Are planets and stars synonymous with ships? They are. Planets are transportation devices. Stars are also transportation devices, and planets and stars are also the same thing from a higher dimensional viewpoint. Are planets and stars synonymous with ships? Obviously, from a third dimensional viewpoint, you would view a spaceship or a light ship as a separate thing to a planet. I can tell you that there are third dimensional, or how we would perceive them from a third dimensional perspective, there are floating ships that are like huge planets, and then they're not actually planets when you view from the third dimensional viewpoint. They are actual ships that look like huge planets. So that's a third dimensional viewpoint, but I know you meant your questions via a higher dimensional perspective. You are looking at the truth, because when you go further into these higher dimensions and you look from the perspective of those dimensions, you are getting closer to, or rather you are getting a more accurate version of ultimate truth from source perspective. That's not to say that third dimensional truth isn't truth. It is truth, but it's linear truth. And linear reality is not truth in itself, it's illusion. The truth is the oneness and the unity, which one views from the higher dimensions and from source perspective. So, are planets and ships synonymous with ships, just manifesting in the fullness as different aspects of the same symphony? Very, very good way to put that. So, yes, different aspects of the same symphony. Absolutely. You are looking at a unity that creates a separation. That's what happens with creation itself, and that's what happens when we view these different structures. So we are looking at the separation of these structures From a third dimensional viewpoint, we are looking at more unity, but still separation from a fourth dimensional viewpoint, and up the dimensions we go until we have absolute unity. So the viewpoint most starseeds are at the moment is fifth dimensional, coming into sixth dimensional. And from that viewpoint, the answer to that question is yes. Are we also ships of sorts? We are. We are, because we're transportation devices and we can transport ourselves to other dimensions. The best known metaphor here, or the best known truth here, is the Merkaba. People may call this the Merkaba vehicle or the Merkaba ship. So this is us when we are able to become conscious of the matrix field around us. Simultaneously, the brainwaves are changing, so we're going into more of a theta or beyond the theta brainwave state. We are able to merge our energy bodies with our awareness, so we're really holding that theta brainwave state consciousness. And from that viewpoint, we're able to transport ourselves. This can be done through deep meditation. It can be done through astral projection with or without a Merkaba ship attached to that astral form. The Merkaba ship would be more of a celestial body astral projection. An astral projection without the Merkaba would be more of a the first level of astral projection in a fourth dimensional viewpoint. But the answer to the question is yes. Are we also ships of sorts? I mean, obviously, there's much more that can be said here. And I will say there is a lot within your questions. Whilst I say yes, 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 yes to your answers, there's a lot within your questions that I don't know. These questions are related to downloads of information that we have yet to receive. So when it comes to us being ships, and when it comes to motherships being oversouls and extraterrestrials being embodiments of us, we can see to a certain point what that means and translate that within a third dimensional understanding, but there is more to come. We are yet to receive more downloads of this information. There's always more to come, and there are always more downloads, and once you awaken to enlightenment and ascension, you will be having downloads repeatedly for the rest of your incarnation and beyond. So it's a never-ending journey. Talking of downloads, I will say that there are downloads going on right now amongst the starseeds. We're in a high energy time period. We've had this sort of soft lull of January 2017, and we're now in February month 2, where things are picking up. We have just been through this sort of triad Stargate situation on a cosmic level, where we had a full moon combined with the visual sight of a comet around the Earth, approaching the Earth, and also a lunar eclipse, creating very intense cosmic energy that creates a Stargate, opening up energetics within the brain structure, within the consciousness, to be able to receive these downloads. So starseeds are getting downloads right now. They will be feeling this. And it's Valentine's Day for me tomorrow. It might not be for you, because by the time this video is uploaded, it may have already passed. But Valentine's Day holds a very high energy because of the love that is symbolically presented. So, you know, you're sending someone a card with a love heart on it, or you're posting pictures of love hearts and saying Happy Valentine's Day, and going out to dinner with your partner or your twin flame and buying people roses. That creates an energetic when it's occurring on such a large scale. So that creates a Stargate, and the starseeds are able to utilize the change in frequency and access downloads. So starseeds are getting downloads right now, and downloads are related to the questions you've asked, which is why I looked at those questions, because we are looking at the galactic awakening that's going on right now. And that will bring us into the metaphors of extraterrestrials and motherships and us being ships. We're getting those downloads because this is all related to the galactic awareness. So we can take this even further and say, you know, is Source a mothership? Are we Source? Can we get in a mothership and travel to Source? Is Source an extraterrestrial? I mean, we can go on and on and on with these questions. And right now, whatever questions you're asking yourself with a pure heart, the downloads are going to be in alignment with that. Individuals that are star-seeded right now, the light workers, the star-seeds, are looking at fifth and sixth dimensional knowledge. They are awakening to that frequency, and they're wanting to know these dimensions. So anything related to the unity and the oneness within fifth and sixth dimensional streams are the downloads that you'll be getting, and they will be related to your questions. Really what I do here with these videos, I'm not really answering your questions as such, because you have the answers just as much as I do. I'm not the person with the answers. What I do have is the ability to give you an activation, as you will also have as a starseed, as an awakened starseed. The energetics within you, within your field, within your DNA will hold a certain resonance, and they will be able to activate others. And you will do this through your own creativity. I do this through talking, through speaking, so it comes out with me through words, but some people use music or art or the body, through dance, through movement. There are so many ways. Simply just being, you're able to pass on those frequencies to activate others. But only a couple of days ago, the 9 came forward and gave me a new title. They do this all the time to people I know and clients I see. They'll give them these titles, and often I don't know what they mean. And so a few years ago, I was given the title by them of she who decodes the metaphor, given to many starseeds, not just me. We're decoding the metaphor. But a couple of days ago, probably was around the full moon comet eclipse day, memory activator, again, given to many starseeds, not just me. There's loads of us, thousands of us. Thank goodness that there are. So we are activating memory, and that's what I'm doing with these videos. I'm not here to answer your questions, because there are so many different answers just to one question, depending on the perspective you look at. And you could actually talk for days, weeks, months, years just on one question. What's happening is an activation of memory. And the memory is your download. That download that's coming is your memory. So it's an upload as well, if you like. It's coming up from the DNA or coming down from the cosmos. I know I've said this before in previous videos, but I thought I would give you the name that the 9 gave me, memory activator, as it applies to so many of you as well. So thanks for those questions. They are lovely. Great, thank you. And I will be back with more videos. Thank you for listening, and have a lovely day. Bye.
What is the Matrix? Who are the Masters? I, Magenta Pixie, am so very pleased to present my first book, channeled from my guidance system that I refer to as the White-Winged Collective Consciousness of 9. Discover the true story of our origins as an energy system, how we lost the original template for our destiny, and how we are now in the process of remembering those lost codes. Learn how humanity may reclaim the sovereignty which is rightfully ours, bringing us back into wholeness, integration, and full understanding of who we are, what we are, why we are here, and what we are here to do. Spirituality, metaphysics, and science merge, as the sacred geometry, known as the language of light, is downloaded and decoded. The realization and activation of these ancient codes for a new dawn of man is an alchemical process available to us all. Now is the time that collectively we move forward into a fully conscious ascension and embrace the new archetype of Master of the Matrix.